I was born and raised in a Muslim family. My parents are very devout Muslims. I spent the first 19 years of my life being around them, and we were encouraged to practice Islam. So like most of kids my own age, I tried to do the prayers, to learn all the phrases in Arabic. We studied the Quran for 3 years of high school. We were taught to revere God, Allah, and we grew up believing that there was only one God, and He is the Creator. You get to heaven by your good deeds. However, you don't know how much good deeds you have to do to get there. You're constantly questioning what's going to happen when you get to the other side. But as a young man, I wasn't so much concerned about heaven and hell at the time, because young people don't think about dying very much. However, you do think about this God who we're raised to feel that if you're happy, He will sure find you and make you unhappy. So you have to live in such a way not to provoke Him to anger. So you live in a constant fear of don't laugh too much, because He will make sure that He will stabilize you. And if you're sad, He'll make you happy. But mostly it's sadness that covers that part of my life that I remember. That being sad was a good thing. It's being happy that you started to question whether God was going to get you or not. Although it's unusual for a Muslim to pray directly to God, I would ask Him every night to make me angrier, and that helped me not to ever smile or laugh. Muslim families are very close-knit. Leaving your family is not an easy thing to do. So when I had to leave my family to go to school, that period of my life became the hardest time of my life. Education brings honor. The higher your education, the more honorable you are. And that's why majority of Muslim families have their kids in college, or they're insisting that they'll go to college. You have to have a degree pasted on the wall somewhere. I wanted to become an engineer. So when I left my parents, I went to college, and I wasn't doing well. My grades were very bad. As hard as I studied, I could not live up to the standard that the culture had made for me. Not my parents, but the culture. My poor parents really didn't care as long as I was happy, but I had put that upon myself. And the first 2 years being away from them was very, very hard time, to the point that because we come from shame-based culture, anything that creates shame needs to be removed so the honor can be restored. That's why you see parents killing their own children who have done something wrong, because they brought dishonor on the family, so now they have to restore it by removing that which has created the dishonor. I was creating a dishonor for my family with my bad grades, and I hated myself, and I wanted to kill myself. I came to the point of the thought of dying was the most soothing thought I had. Very depressed and suicidal. I was too chicken to put a gun to my head or do something crazy, but if someone was to do that for me, I would have been very happy. Right around this time, I ran into a group of people who were very much different than everyone else I had met up to that point of my life. There are two things I always wanted: peace and joy. It wasn't so much the lifestyle was very radical than everyone else, but it was something that would emanate, that would just come out of them. And when I asked them, when I approached them, why is it that you're different than the rest of the people that I know? They said, it's because we've decided to follow Jesus Christ. Well, that was a very offensive answer to me, because as a Muslim, how can a second-class prophet give you that peace of joy when my last religion and Allah and the Quran and Muhammad cannot give me that peace? So I began to argue with them. But they never argued back with me. What they did instead, they loved me. They didn't know much about my background, so they allowed me to hang around with them. And I remember, as long as I was with them, I could feel the peace that was among them. But I would go home crying. This went on for a while, and until one of them invited me to their house one night for dinner. I had bought myself a motorcycle by that time, thinking that maybe I'll run into an accident and kill myself, and they wouldn't think that I deliberately did that. So I rode my bike for about 2 hours to get to that place, and when we sat down to eat, the father of the house blessed the food, prayed over the meal. I had never heard people pray. I don't even remember what he prayed, but it was that prayer that touched my heart. So after months of arguing with these people, on the way home, as I'm riding my motorcycle 80, 90 miles an hour, I began to have a conversation with God. Now, which God do you think I was conversing with? Of course, it was Allah. That was the only God I knew. And this is what I said. I said, God, I'm a Muslim, and I'm on the verge of wanting to kill myself. I know nothing about Christianity. I know nothing about Christ. In fact, everything I knew as a Muslim about Jesus was exactly the opposite of what these people believed. He wasn't divine. He never died on the cross. He wasn't the Son of God. So I said, Jesus, if you're really who these people tell me you are, please understand, I know nothing about Christianity. If you're really who these people tell me you are, I will accept you. I wanted him to remove my shame, and good grades would bring me honor. That's what I wanted them to do. I had no idea about Christian theology. I just knew if anyone could get me out of the mess I was in, it would be Jesus. And this was the extent of my prayer and the knowledge I had of him.